Our guest today is Peter de Boer. He is a board member and director of investor relations at DN Agrar. Listed in February last year, the company is the biggest milk producer in Romania. Hello, Peter. Good to see you again.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for the invite, and I'm happy to join you today.
I'm here also with my colleague Radu Descălescu from the Equity Research Department here at Tradeville. Hello, Radu.
Hello, Peter. Hello, Mihai.
Hello, Radu.
Peter, first off, let's make this disclosure that we had met several months ago. And during our conversation, you said something which, to me at least, was plain shocking. I mean, more than 50% of the milk we consume here in Romania is being imported. 1/3 of total imports is coming from Hungary. And how did we end up in this situation as a country? I mean, that's shocking to me. And what's your strategy for turning that apparently structural deficit into a long-term benefit for both your company and the Romanian public at large?
Okay. Now, of course, how you end up, or how Romania ends up in this situation, I can't judge that. Let's say, of course, there are various reasons why Romania is not as competitive as other Eastern European countries, especially Poland and Hungary, also that are the main countries where Romania imports from. Main things is regarding support of the government. There are two things, let's say, support of the government and the fragmentation in Romania in the agricultural sector. Let me first start on the government level. In Hungary, there's a way broader strategy from the government for the agricultural sector. There's a long-term strategy to become one of the leaders in Europe, as well as in Poland as well. It is predictable. They are accountable for it, and they subsidize their industry through diesel on the food cost. While Romania has, of course, we have also subsidies over here. You get subsidies per liter milk produced, and as well per cow. In Romania, up to last year, the subsidies for the cows, for the number of cows and liters, the reference date they took was 2013. So up to last year, even if you had in 2013, let's say you had 500 cows, and last year you had 3 cows, you still got a subvention for 500 cows. Now, in our case, of course, this cost us so far already millions of euros because of on our scale. At that time, we were small. Now we are the largest milk producer in Romania, so that costs us a lot of money. Besides that, we are still a really profitable company. So this shows also our competitive advantage, that even with the lack of subsidies, we still manage to be the leader here on the market. That is one thing. So support for diesel costs, support for food, be predictable, have the right laws in place, also for larger farms. And then of course, we have the fragmentation. A good example, I think, to give is, and this you can find on their website, is the Friesland Campina. They have the Napolact brand here in Romania. You can find on their website. They collect per day almost 300,000 liters of milk. And they need to collect it from over 1,100 farmers per day. And those 1,100 farmers, they have approximately 20,000 cows. So you can see at the moment we produce, let's say, approximately 160,000 liters per day. By the end of the year, 200,000 liters. And in 2 years, we will produce 300,000 liters per day. So then we have the same what Friesland Campina collects today, the same amount, the same number of liters, but they need to collect it from 1,100 farmers, and we produce it by ourselves. And of course, when you need to collect from 1,100 farmers, you have a lot of different qualities, because you can expect really, really small farmers when you have this large amount. So you have different qualities that goes in the same truck, all those same level of quality, let's say. So it's way harder to be competitive and make a good product out of that as well. While you have also huge transportation costs, etc., because you need to make huge routes. So that is, I think, that are the main causes of main is subsidies, and the other one is the fragmentation. So that are not a lot of investments done to increase efficiency, to increase quality, etc. Also from the Romanian farmers itself. And we see that it's a decreasing. It decreases year by year. The milk, the liters of milk produced, also the number of cows, while the consumption since 2015 is increasing almost by 10%. And then next to that, you have this huge deficit of over 50%. It's not only liters of milk, but it's also added final dairy products. So yogurt and these kind of things are also imported. And it's even worse, I think, because there's the most value, let's say. As we all know, the final products brings the biggest value added. So I think, this kind of answers your question.
Yeah. So you're not only the biggest cow milk producer in the country, you also has the largest integrated zootechnical farm here in Romania. So the idea is the company wants to be self-sustained along the whole business chain. How's that panned out over the last couple of years, and how do you see that process going forward into the foreseeable future?
We are mostly self-sustained, let's say, as part of the circular agriculture. So, of course, our main income comes from the milk production. But next to that, secondary, we also produce our own food for the cows. Of course, we buy some extra minerals and protein. Also from Hungary, in this case, but mainly we produce our own food for the cows. With that, we produce milk and manure. That manure we bring on our fields to fertilize the soil. And we have our own service company as well. So the field services we do mainly by ourselves. Then we have our consultancy part that we do. Also, we sell milking pilots, etc., and milking equipment to other farms. We are the importer of and distributor of Dairy Master products. It's a company from Ireland. We are the distributor for that in Romania as well. And with that also comes a part of consultancy, of course. And we have our own logistics, etc. So we try to integrate everything. And now the next step is the development, but maybe we come later to that, of the compost factory. With that, we can also bring our manure. When we start to compost our manure, we can bring our manure to fields that are further away. And then we can limit chemical fertilizer. And especially this helped us really last year when the war started. The gas prices were extremely high. And for that, also the chemical fertilizer. We also saw chemical fertilizer fabrics closed down because they couldn't make it anymore. And with that, because we have our own manure, we were really in a good strategic position, let's say, to reduce cost. And we would like to use all our fields, our own manure, to perform fully circular agriculture. At the moment, we have over 7,000 hectares. Our goal is to go to 10,000 hectares. And we have over 12,000 animals. And through this, we perform circular agriculture.
Yeah. Peter, last year, DN Agrar tripled its total revenues, whereas the operational income doubled. So we read your financial statements, and we saw that 2022 really was the year of remarkable business consolidation. Please give us a few highlights about the numbers you posted for the first quarter of the current year, and how do you see your financial performance over the next couple of quarters, let's say maybe a year ahead?
Yeah, so we ended up in the Q1 in 2023 with increasing results due to the previous investment and synergies we did. So mainly, as we all know, as we mentioned also last year, when we did the acquisition of the Uphold farm, we had directly a steep investment plan of 50% of increasing of capacity at the Uphold farm. And throughout last year, we started already to put the extra animals that we raised mainly ourselves, but also we bought on the market. To increase the capacity, and we see the results of that investment this year. Also, in Q1, we still had the highest price we have seen in decades, at least from our perspective. I know it sounds maybe like a bit like a contradiction, but we are not connected to the local Romanian price. We are connected to European milk prices. So there are two things. Mainly, it is of course the increase of the milk price, that we had the highest price in decades. And we had way more animals. With that, we diluted cost, because we can't control the market, but we can control to a certain degree our costs. So we saw this a bit coming, and we invested and bought more cows, and also we renewed replaced some cows, let's say, to have a high productivity and way more liters of milk. So operating revenues amounted to 60 million. It was an increase of 43%. And also revenues from sold production reached 44 million lei. There we had an increase of 48% compared to the same period in 2022. So mainly more milk, and of course a better market price. And we increased as well a bit in the Koet farm. There we didn't use last year we didn't have the full capacity there as well, and now we are running on full capacity there as well. Also to state, in the first quarter we had an increase of milk delivered of 13%, and now in 8 months we have an increase of 16.5% of liters of milk produced the first 8 months. And even if you compare August to August last year, we had this year August we had 19.5%, if I say it's correct, more milk delivered than August last year. So you can see we produce way more milk, and of course it has a huge effect on the cost, etc. With this we didn't need to hire so many more employees and these kind of things. So this helped us a lot as well. Another thing is regarding the manure. We did investment last year in manure equipment with the pipe. This is used for precision agriculture, and in the past we could do with one tractor 15 hectares per day, and now we do over 40 hectares per day with one tractor. So of course also on the efficiency part we improved a lot on that part. And with that pipe we can bring that pipe directly to the manure lagoon and to the fields where the tractor is operating, so we don't need to send transport trucks, etc., to bring first the manure to the tractor and then to deliver it on the fields. So that are the main things for the main reason for the first quarter that we had such good results. Cows, more milk, more cows, and a great milk price, of course. And the financial results for the first 6 months, we will publish them almost. We are currently working on it on the 28th of September. I will move on after our call immediately there.
So you just mentioned the milk prices. Let's take a bit to it, taking into consideration that the milk prices are going down at the EU level. For example, for August, I just saw some figures compared to the same month of the last year. The price was down 70% at the EU level for raw milk. How did you mitigate this problem in the first 8 months of the current year? And how do you see the price movement until the end of the year?
Yeah, so we saw this coming. We are not so surprised about the decline of the milk price. Let's say, especially we designed the strategy already in December and January, where of course we couldn't know where is the max, because you can only kind of see it 1 month in advance, let's say, where it will go. So we decided in January already, because we expected that there would be a decline, because it's quite normal, because the milk prices were so high, like the highest in decades. So there needed to be a correction, let's say, on the milk market, and that also came. So we decided in January already, and you can see this up in the news, that where we bought extra cows. We bought 800 extra cows to faster growth, partly to replace unproductive cows, because there you have higher cost, of course, and less milk produced. So to replace a part and to increase faster the 50% capacity, because in the past we announced, okay, we want to fill that 50% extra capacity with only raised by our own young stock, but that goes slower. And because we expected this correction, we thought, okay, we need more milk to work on the cost price, let's say. So there, I think that was really a good strategic decision from our management team to see this coming. Of course, then we saw a decline, but from June we saw a stabilization. June and August were a stabilization. July as well. From there we saw it stabilize, and still it is higher than before the war. Or the milk price is still higher than what it was before the war. So that's a good thing. Next to that, we expect from the autumn that we get a further increase. I expected already this for September. For what I found out so far, this is not the case. So I expect from October that we will have a further increase. We get more and more requests also from the fabrics or clients that we work already with, to deliver more milk because they have a shortage. But also from we get more and more other parties that very currently are not working with, and they ask us as well if we could deliver milk. So we expect later in the year, or I normally expect from next month that the milk price will go up again. And for the long term, I also expect, especially we see the developments in the Netherlands, which is the third largest milk exporter in the EU. First is Germany, I think secondly is France. We see the discussion in the Netherlands, Germany, and Denmark is a big exporter of milk as well. There we will see some changes in the agricultural sector, so there will be less export from those countries. As well, so, which is kind of beneficial for us, let's say. So that will rise the price. Also, worldwide, the consumption of milk is still increasing, so the outlook is quite good. But first of all, there is more and more. Most room is here on the Romanian market because we have this deficit of over 50%. Let's say. So first, we need to solve that, and finally, I would say, and the Romanian government changes their approach. To see that it is good to have own products, to have control over your own food supply. So at least I see now slowly on a change in mindset, let's say at least, and I hope they will follow up with policies, etc. To make use of the huge potential Romania has. It has a huge potential. It's really central located in Europe. We see it is not highly or densely populated, which Western Europe is. It has lots of fields, really good fields. So there's user potential to become one of the main exporters in Europe for food production. And then we need not only raw material, we need also final products, etc. So the potential is there. We only need predictability. Make a strategy, I would argue, for 10 years. This is how we're going to do. This is how we're going to subsidize or strategically fund the right farmers. Let's say not now the farmers who are inefficient with a few cows and not push to digitization to deliver a certain quality, etc., but to sit with the sector and not only in the milk industry, I mean in all the agricultural sector, to have a clear strategy. And I think then there is a huge potential and to become maybe not the number one. I expect that will be Poland, but at least to be in the top 3, I think in time that should be possible. Or will if you, of course, per capita, if you see it like this. But so I think the outlook is really good, especially if you see the world consumption, but also the consumption in Romania itself. Let's say it's growing. People get more buying power, so. The outlook is good. Only the funds need to go to the right directions, and especially predictability, because the investments also we do, they are huge. We invest millions of euros per year, so you need some predictability, let's say.
Yeah, regarding the Romanian market and its government policy, I wanted to ask, how did the agreement on the 20% reduction in the price of milk in the retail industry affect you? Because I made a simple calculation based on the data, again, the data provided by the EU, and saw that in May, the price of raw milk in Romania dropped more than 20%, meaning that maybe the producers carried somehow the burden of this policy.
Yeah, no, it is of course always by the end of the day always the producer carries the burden. Let's say that is clear. Luckily, and I think that is because of that is one of our main strategic advances, is the scale that we operate and the quality of our milk, without being arrogant or whatsoever. But I think the advantage of working with DN Agrar is that we deliver only full trucks. We don't sell half trucks or whatsoever. We have our own milk trucks. We fill them and we sell them. Also a fabric for that. Mainly also we work only with large processors because they need full trucks. Let's say smaller processors, usually they need less, but we only deliver full trucks. And the advantage is, of course, that you have a constant quality. So we have few farms, they operate on more or less the same level. We have all the efficiency measurements in place. We have veterinaries 24/7. I mean, small farmers, of course, don't have a veterinary all 24/7 on their farms. We have more than one even. We have a few on each farm 24/7. So we have this. We can invest in this quality control. We milk the cows who are sick or have disease at the moment. We milk them in a separate milking piler. Things are not mixed up. Of course, on smaller farms, they go through the same milking piler, which is a risk. So because of this and the scale that we operate with the constant quality, we are not affected by the Romanian milk price because we don't sell our milk. We sell our milk for Western European prices. So from that perspective, our milk is relatively expensive compared to the Romanian milk. So we are not affected by this price gap. Of course, I don't think this is a smart move. To put a price cap on this, especially when you have already this 50% deficit, you kind of force everyone to further increase this deficit. So in my opinion, it's not a smart move, and it's a bit naive to think that the processors somehow will not take this from the farmers, let's say. But okay, that's as a side note. I don't want to to end up in this political issue. But because of our scale and the quality of milk, we can sell our milk for the Western European price plus with a bonus. Let's say we get also a bonus for certain parameters. So we are not affected at all regarding this.
Peter, your company shares are trading at all-time highs these days, right?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
Your company shares are trading at all-time highs these days
Yeah.
on the Bucharest Stock Exchange. Okay, so you listed in February last year, and you quickly managed to enter the top 10 most valuable companies in the Beta Aero Index. And it's already public information that one of your goals is to move the shares from the aero market to the main market. Please give us an update about the timing of that intention. And for the final part of our interview, I really want to ask you, how do you see your company in terms of both size and shares dynamics on the Bucharest Stock Exchange for, let's say, 5 to 10 years in the future?
Okay. Yeah, first of all, on the Beta Aero Index, we did it in. It only took us 8 months, let's say, to end up in this index. I think it was quite a success, especially in the first years. From the IPO price, we grew already almost 20%, and also this year, if you take the price from this week, let's say the price from this week, we grew almost another 20%. So that is finally, I would say, we are on the right track. Of course, we had some concerns regarding the valuation of the company. And still, in our opinion, the company is quite undervaluated. For now, in our opinion, the price should be at least 1 lei. Also, if you look to our financials, but also with the potential it has, especially on the scale that we have, because by the end of this year, last year we produced almost 50 million liters of milk. This year it will be almost 60 million liters of milk, and let's say in 2 years, or let's say in total in 3 years. Okay, when we finish the structure project, I will include that in the part for the 5 years. Let's say it will be 300,000 liters, and it will be mean that. Over 100 million liters per year. But so we expect that the price will go further up. I think that will be also shown in the half-year results that we will present. So somehow I think that will follow the line I expect from what we show in the first quarter. Sorry, and then the other part for the stock exchange, now I forgot.
How do you see DN Agrar in terms of both company size and the shares dynamics for 5-10 years down the road?
Yeah. Now, on the short term or mid-term, let's say, now we are designing our strategy. We will announce it in 1 or 2 months. On the midterm, it is a structure project, and I think we aim to finalize the structure project in 2 years. So that will be it should be ready in 2025. By the end of 2025, fully operational, and then of course it takes a bit to have the full capacity of milk. But then we will produce by the end of 2025, beginning of 2026, we will produce 300,000 liters per day, which means by the end, approximately 110 million liters annually. But it's not the only part. I think we will be bigger by that time. So in 5 years, mainly what we want to do is we want to be the number 1. At the moment, we are the market leader in Romania, the largest milk processor in Romania. We want to maintain this position and enlarge this position. We want to be the best in what we do. This is what satisfies us the most, and we will also do that for the investors. So we want to grow. all the time. We don't want to keep the train running, but we want to develop new routes. And what I mean with new routes is diversification. We're looking into that. So to not only have milk, but to have also some other products. First step is the compost part, which, as I said already, will have huge cost reduction internally. We will also want to sell the product because it's a highly valued product. Other things we are looking into is biogas. It is solar panels. We are already obtaining for the subsidy to fill all our roofs with solar panels, so to produce electricity. So it will be, we will do the same dedication, and we want still to be the #1. And now we will do everything to maintain that position. So we will also be that in 5 or 10 years, I think, only on a larger scale. So as soon as we finalize the Straja project, I think more money comes available to also do certain acquisitions. So after now we heavily invest in this kind of organic growth, let's say, through our own resources. But as soon as we finish that, we want to grow further also through acquisitions, but with the same dedication and the same quality standards as we do today. And of course, upgrading to the main market. Okay, that should be sooner than 5 years. We are working on that, implementing the SAP ERP system. We're now implementing IFRS. That is all be ready. Let's say it should be ready next year, May, June. So, and then of course we need to find the right time to upgrade to the main market. And we would like to have, of course, institutional investors investing in our company. That is the next step. So it will be mainly larger scale, grow still a bit organically, but more, I think, in time through acquisitions and diversification of our portfolio.
Peter, thank you very much for accepting our invitation to talk again. And we're looking forward to seeing your quarterly numbers on September 28th. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I really enjoyed the interview, and I wish you all the best. Until next time.